Buckingham Training School is returning from the brink of extinction, thanks in large part to Wilbert Dean.
I was just moved to do something. It had turned into a trash dump. They were collecting trash at this site where I went to school.
Dean went to school here for 3 years, beginning when he was 11 years old.
Without the school, I would not be standing here today. The school gave me an opportunity to finish high school
and to get a master's degree in business administration. Harvey Shelton also credits Buckingham Training School with setting him on the path that led to a doctorate degree from Virginia Tech.
I probably would have gone to high school or maybe even college, if the school hadn't been here. It would have been more difficult. But what the school provided me was inspiration. People that told me that I could do whatever I wanted to do.
Buckingham Training School was one of more than 5,000 Rosenwald schools, built with funding from Julius Rosenwald. The co-owner of one of America's largest retailers financed the effort at the urging of Booker T. Washington, a former slave who became a prominent educator.
They were begun around 1912, and that was a time when there was no education really for blacks in the rural South.
David Brown is Executive Vice President of the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which is guiding efforts to preserve Rosenwald schools.
While Julius Rosenwald of the Sears and Roebuck Company provided half the money, the local community had to come together and provide the other half of the money to build these schools. And so you had a lot of community investment in these places.
Built according to model school plans, the Rosenwald schools were state-of-the-art for their time. But by the time schools in the South were integrated in the mid-20th century, they were out of date, and many were abandoned.
Many of these places went into neglect, and so we started hearing from alumni and community groups saying, we know we have something that's important in our Rosenwald schools. We want to be able to save these. Can you help us?
That was 10 years ago. Since then, 7 schools have been given new life in their communities.
They were built as symbols of community pride, and they were centers of community life. And we want them to continue in that vein. We really want to see these places reused.
Buckingham Training School will be transformed into a community center at the heart of a 4-hectare county park.
We can take this land that was designed to segregate the county and split it apart. We can use the same land and these same facilities to bring the county together to make Buckingham a better place to improve the quality of life.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
Scrabble School in Castleton, Virginia, is already doing that. It was one of the first Rosenwald schools to be renovated, thanks to the efforts of E. Franklin Warner, a graduate who became a budget analyst in the White House.
He would probably say, we made something of ourselves coming from a 2-room school, because they have some people there's a couple of doctors and a lawyer.
Warner's widow, Dorothy, did not go to school here, but she picked up the cause in 2003 after his death, along with others in the community.
And we didn't know what we were going to do with the building once it was done. And I went up to the old senior citizens building one day, and they were in a room about half this size. And when we had a meeting that night, I said, we can put our seniors in there. And that's what we began working on. And they're here, and they seem very happy.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
As Rappahannock County Senior Center, Scrabble School is once again serving the community. But its history is also on display here, so all who come here will know. Susan Logue, VOA News, Castleton, Virginia.